Right. Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Welcome to our therapy break. I'm so glad to have you all with us. I am excited about this program and the conversation that we're going to be having today about Coach Me Strong. And you'll learn what that is and how that can benefit you here in just a minute. But before we get started, just going to go over some brief housekeeping with you. My name is Anissa Mitchell, and I'm with PMD Alliance. And today we're doing a therapy break. So this program is a little more interactive than maybe some of our other presentations. It's not as formal. So we are going to welcome you to ask questions throughout the program today. We're going to have that so that you can unmute yourselves. And then when you have a question, if you would just want to wave your hand or use your reaction buttons at the bottom, you'll see there's a little smiley face that says reactions. You can do it that way. You can also open up your chat box, and then there's under participants, you are able to then wave. Sometimes it's just easier to give me a wave, or if you want to chat that you're going to have a question, that's great. So we want this to be a discussion program. So if you want to know how to open up your chat, if you are one of the very few individuals out there that hasn't done this yet on Zoom, most of you are experts at this, just hover your mouse at the bottom of your screen. If you're on a computer, you'll see the little chat box, just click that, and that will give you ability to type a message to everyone. You can also do it directly to someone. And as you can see now, it looks like the closed captioning has popped up. If you want to move that, all you have to do is hover your mouse over that, and you can move it around on the screen, or you can hide that. So if you go over to the little three dots that says more, hide subtitles, that will remove that. Some people like it, some people find it distracting, so it's whatever works for you. All right, so I'm going to kick off this program by introducing, we actually have three speakers that are going to be talking about this today. So the first one that I want to introduce is Jeff Seckendorf, and this is a very interesting guy, a very active, very interesting guy. I've really enjoyed getting to know him. He's very passionate about education and training, and used his skills in a variety of different ways. He's developed an online education program for scuba, for coaching program in scuba. He's mentored or developed a mentoring program for directors in the film industry. Well, that could be a whole subject, I think, by itself. I'm sure that was very interesting. He is an accomplished author of 7 books. He's done multi-language courses online. He's a software engineer. I think he's a jack of all trades. He's a competitive cyclist on the national level. He's a former triathlete. He's a flight instructor for competitive aerobatic piloting, can't even imagine. And if that's not enough, he's also a mountain trekker and one of the founders of Coach Me Strong. So he's a very interesting gentleman. So we're excited to have Jeff. Also with us is Marty Acevedo. And Marty was diagnosed back in 2004 with essential tremor, and then 2010 with Parkinson's disease. She's very adamant and active and does not want to be defined by her diagnosis. So she's got very involved in the PD community, serving on the board of directors with the Parkinson's Association of San Diego. She also is on the board of Coach Me Strong. She's very passionate about educating people with Parkinson's about exercise and socialization. So she's going to be giving you her viewpoint of that and the way that this program has helped her. And then we also have Christina Den, and I don't know if she's joined us quite yet. She was still working with someone, but she is a doctor of physical therapy who specializes in neurological conditions, and she is a coach with Coach Me Strong. She also began, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Yaden Neuro Wellness, which is an organization that builds a community for those that have similar conditions through the power of movement and exercise. So we've got three people that are going to be talking about Coach Me Strong. So I am going to start off first by asking Marty and Jeff, can you explain what Coach Me Strong is and give everyone kind of an introduction to that?
Yeah, I'll tell you briefly what it is, then I'll pass this right off to Marty to tell you how the whole thing started because it's interesting. So Coach Me Strong is a coaching program. So what in a nutshell, what we do is we take clients into the program and we assign them to a coach. And the coaches are physical therapists and exercise physiologists. Oh, and there's Christina just popped in. So um, so they're physical therapists, exercise physiologists, kinesiologists. All of our coaches have a lot of history working with people with Parkinson's, and they also really understand how to build structured training programs. So in a nutshell, we give you a coach. You work with that coach daily. The coach delivers exercise programs to you. It shows up on your phone or your computer every day. It's all very personalized and customized. So we'll get more into that in a few minutes, but the startup story from this thing, which was almost to the day a year ago, is really interesting. So, Marty, you want to run that down about the
Sure.
meeting with Abby and all that?
The medical director of Parkinson's Association of San Diego came to us about exactly a year ago and said that her patients were not exercising the way that she wanted them to do, and they were losing functionality. Their scores were lower when they were tested for their neuro status. They were losing stamina, and she felt it was because the intensity and the frequency of their exercise and the quality of their exercise had lessened. So she asked us to fix it. So Jeff and I put our heads together and we got it start. We went through some fits and starts with some other people, and we decided that this was a good way to go. So we rolled out, I guess in late June of last year, and have been going strong ever since. Jeff?
Yeah. So when Dr. Lawler at the Parkinson's Association expressed this to us, of course, I can't never keep my mouth shut. So I said, hey, I've got this coaching program that I developed for another company I own, which is a scuba certification agency. So we took weekend classes and we put them in these long drawn out coaching programs, and the instructors became coaches and so on. But basically, I had already done all the development work on the platform and everything else. So I was like, I can just pick this program up and put it over here and make it for exercise and make it for Parkinson's. And, basically everybody stood up and said, yeah, just do it. So Marty and I in our lives tend to be the people who just say, okay, well, let's just do it and actually do it. So very shortly we had a website, we had the software, third-party software built up. We had the calendars built up. We collected up a group of coaches, including Christina, who you'll meet in a second. And we started taking on clients. And it's basically gone straight ahead since we opened it. What happens is you come into the program with an intake form, and this is a pretty involved form, and it tells us where you are in your journey, if it's with Parkinson's or some other neurological condition, what your medical history is, who are your movement disorder specialists, who's your physician, what's your history as an exerciser or as an athlete or as a couch potato, whatever it is, we don't care. We take you where you are. And then we look at that, and using that information, we assign you to one of our coaches. So if you come into the program, some people come in with lots of underlying orthopedic stuff, right? Oh, I've had a hip and a knee and a this and a that. Those people generally get connected with one of our physical therapists, of which Christina is one. If you come in as a strong athlete who just happened to get Parkinson's, you'll generally get assigned to one of our personal trainers or exercise physiologists. If you're in the middle someplace, we'll give you to one of the kinesiologists. And they'll meet you, have a meeting, have a call, and then start to slowly develop out a daily program for you. And then we have this little calendar and communications app, and every morning you wake up and you open up your phone and there are your workouts. And they're all designed in a structured system. So you get this full balance of exercise. So, if you walk 30 minutes a day and that's your exercise, that's great. You're walking 30 minutes a day. That's awesome. But what you're doing is you're getting good at walking 30 minutes a day. What we want you to do is vary this tremendously based on your level of fitness, your fitness goals, your symptoms, all of that. So, if you have balance issues, you're going to get a lot of balance and core issues. If you're falling, we're going to give you lots of upper body to help protect you if you grab something, and lots of core. And so we're going to work on you very specifically in terms of what the coaches feel is the best path for you in getting more fit. And it's this variety of aerobic conditioning, strength, balance, core, stretching. There's a lot of Pilates and yoga involved, things like that. And then the last thing I'll just mention before I pass this on to Christina to kind of talk about program development is that if it's not fun, we kind of don't want to play. So the fun factor has to be high. If you come in and say, man, I hate cycling, it's like, all right, awesome. You're never going to see a bike in this program. If you come in and you say, I'm a competitive cyclist my whole life and now I have Parkinson's, awesome. You're going to get a lot of bike. If you love to swim, we'll give you swim. If you're doing rock steady boxing, we'll put it on your calendar. If you're a Pilates guy, we'll give you Pilates. So we'll take what you're doing, but then we'll put it in a structured format for you so you get the most benefit out of what you're doing. And then, it gets periodized over days, weeks, years, life. So you start to build up this very powerful program of exercise. So that's kind of the theory behind the startup. So, Christina, you want to kind of get down in the weeds a little bit on it and how you develop programming and stuff like that? And you're muted also.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it's my turn.
Yeah, go.
Okay,
have fun.
perfect.
Because fun's important.
Fun's important. Hi everybody. Yeah, so I'm a physical therapist and I work with people with Parkinson's in the rehab setting, but also in the wellness setting. To what Jeff was saying, and to add on to that, I found probably, and you guys have probably noticed in the pandemic that, I personally see people in physical therapy, and maybe you guys have been to physical therapy and done LSBT Big or Power or some other rehab program. And then physical therapy comes to an end and it's done. And you all know as well as I do that that doesn't mean your rehab or your exercise journey is done there. So I've found that Coach Be Strong is a good avenue for that. And so to get into what Jeff was saying, I personally have found the most success in people's exercise journey is exactly what Jeff was saying, is let's start by making it just, I call it, excuse my language, but so stupid easy to complete, right? So like all of the self-doubt or all of the dread towards exercise, if you've never exercised in your life, gets removed by just saying, what do you do every day? And what do you already do? Let's add that to the program and structure that around different forms of exercise that allows you to do that one thing you're already always doing. And so I found the most success by just starting really small if you aren't an exerciser. And we've gone some pretty good places with people through that avenue, I feel like. And a lot of people, like Jeff said, have said, I never want to look at a bike, or I don't love running, or that kind of thing. So we just don't start there. So I also look at exercise as a journey. I think as rehab therapists or even a personal trainer, you sort of are ready for people to give everybody everything you know in your brain. But I think that the journey is longer than just 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. It's a lifetime, especially with Parkinson's. So if today and for the next 3 months you end up biking for 10 minutes and then walking for 20, and you weren't doing anything before, or you walking for 5 and biking for 5, then that's improvement, right? So I personally like to be very flexible with people in structuring their workouts. And I find I personally do my best work and other people do their best work when there's that communication and there's that feedback from the person with Parkinson's that I'm working with. I know that's not the nitty gritty stuff, but that really is the big picture. I think you might get bored by me giving you every little detail, but that's the big picture that I see with people, is just being a partner on their journey. And some, I had somebody who had a medical condition or just was on vacation, and then then the exercises are like, okay, just go walk for 30 minutes while you're on vacation. So it's very flexible. It shouldn't be stressful. It should be, a lifestyle change, and not like I don't know, take this cough syrup every 3 hours kind of thing. So I don't know. I see there's
there was
questions.
a question. I think Fred was wanting to ask your question. You can unmute yourself, Fred. Did you want to ask a question, Fred? I thought he was raising his hand.
Okay, he might have just been waving at us.
He might have.
So Marty was client number 1 in addition to being founder. So you want to talk about what happened to you and your journey as a client, not as a part of it?
Absolutely. So I don't love to exercise. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do. I knew I had to do, and I looked at it as a chore, basically, that I had to do, because I knew that had to be part of my lifestyle for the rest of my life with Parkinson's. So I was doing some yoga and was active in a community and a wellness center where we had created a Parkinson's exercise program, but it was really easy to say, I'm not going to go today. I don't feel like it. So when I started the program in June of last year, and my coach was assigned to me, we talked about the things that I like to do, that I will do, and that I would continue to do going forward, while working on some things that I needed to work on. I've had hip replacement, so I had that extra little thing that I needed to work on, and wanted to work on balance and core and those types of things. So Danica put together my exercise program, which has evolved over time. And I was determined to turn every little red section in my calendar to green every day, because I'm an overachiever and I like to please. So I did, and eventually that accountability came back to me, and I called myself accountable to get everything done every day. So fast forward to the last 4 weeks, we've been on vacation on a road trip. And before I left, Danica and I discussed what we'd be able to do. We're in a kind of a travel van, so I have a limited space. So she put together a program that I could do while we're on vacation and traveling, and I've actually accomplished most of it. Some of it was challenging, but if I hadn't had that Coach Me Strong program to keep me on track, I would have just forgotten my exercise program and lost all the things I've gained in the last year, which are my balance has improved, my strength and stamina has really improved, my gait has improved. My doctors even noticed the things that I've gotten better since I've incorporated exercise in my lifestyle every single day.
So let me, I see that there are a few questions here, but let me show you what Marty's talking about here. All right. Can you all see my calendar?
No.
No. Can you see the website?
Yes.
Okay. Now can you see the calendar?
Yes.
Okay. What happened to Zoom here? Sorry, I'm having a little technical thing going on, but okay. You guys can all still see me, right? Or can all hear me. So this is a piece of software we use called Today's Plan. And what this allows us to do is to deliver exercises every day to a calendar. And you could see what Marty was talking about is when the exercises come in, they come in black. And then on the day, they turn red. And as you tick them off, you turn them green. So you can kind of see what's going on here with all of this. So today, Marty skipped a free weight exercise, did a morning stretch, did 30 minutes of yoga, did a 2-hour hike, and still has a video class to go today. And that's a pretty, she did mention the overachieving thing, and she really is quite good at that. And then you can go back and you see that overall, it's really good. Now, one of the things we look at is that if you miss a workout, you miss a workout. It's no big deal. You know, we all miss workouts. What we don't do is then take this dumbbell workout and move it into tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow is already structured. So you miss a workout, you miss a workout. But this is what it looks like. And it shows up, you get an email at 4 o'clock every afternoon that has your next day in it. You can open up your phone and it'll show up on your calendar and just pops up on your phone in the app, or you can look at it on your computer. And when you open these up, so this is a yoga class, and you can see this one opens up with
that one I just find online.
that one you find. Okay, great. So
class.
there are some with videos. Here's a PDX workout. So this has a video in it. So you can, some of them are follow along, some of them are instructional. And when you're done, you just go here and you mark it off as complete. Super easy. So there are a couple things about this that are important. I think the most important thing is accountability. When these programs start, generally people are accountable to their coach. They want the coach to know, because the coaches are looking at this calendar. They want the coach to know they did the exercise. Our goal is that over the course of time, that accountability shifts from the coach to you. So you start to do your program because it serves you, not that it serves the coach. So that's one really important thing. The other thing, if you look at this, it's very, I mean, we don't really have time to get into, like Christina said, into the weeds about this, but it's very structured in a periodized way. So you're not going to see 3 days of weight training in a row, right? And you're not going to see 3 days of easy walks in a row. It's going to be set up to actually manage your fitness and advance your fitness in the most efficient way. You know, it's not the strongest people who win bike races. It's the smartest. So what we want to do is train smart, which doesn't mean it has to be a sufferfest every single day. So that's kind of how the calendar works. And again, it's pretty simple. I had two things, one for Marty and one for Christina. So Marty, can you talk about your relationship with Danica, your coach, and how that's developed? And then Christina, when she's done, can you sort of talk about your relationship with your clients and how they've developed over the year that we've been working?
Sure. So Danica, and when we first started out, we had a Zoom call, and she did a kind of a little assessment over Zoom because it was right in the middle of the pandemic. And from there, we communicate pretty much daily through the system that we have, the Today's Plan program. And then once a month, we also have a Zoom call just to catch up and see if there's anything planned, like this trip that we had or something else, or to find out if something's not working, what we can do differently. We've become friends, and you know, we joke with each other, and but she still holds me accountable, and I hold myself accountable too, because I really have seen such a difference in my stamina and how my fitness level since I started. But Danica has been awesome. She listens to everything I say and figures out some way to help me to improve my whatever I'm working on at the time. Christina?
I was on mute. Yes, sorry, I was also looking at the different questions that I'm happy to answer if they're for me. But yeah, in terms of my dynamic with the people I work with, again, I find everything works the best for both parties when I personally get feedback from people. So if I hear radio silence for a week and didn't know you had a fall, or, you know, we're on vacation, then I'm just sort of in the dark, and then that affects the next week. Or sometimes caregivers or spouses or the client will say, you know, this exercise didn't feel quite right. And then, you know, that's like great information for me, because then I can give something that feels a little bit better and feels a little bit more true to what they need. So it's fun in that if I get the feedback, if I'm just putting workouts, then we're just like pen pals, right? Or like we're electronic exercise pen pals. But if I get the feedback, then I feel like we actually have a dynamic in a relationship where I can understand you a little bit better. And then actually one of my people lives down the street from me. So we actually went on a walk together the other day. And it was good for both me, him, and his spouse / caregiver. And you know, one of my goals with them is to relieve the pressure off of a spouse or a caregiver, and so that the person nagging the person can be not your partner. You know, it can be me. The pressure can be put on me, which I'm happy to take, and that's where that's what I'm here for. So yeah, it becomes like Marty said, it becomes a dynamic in a relationship that, you know, I hear about their life, they hear about mine, and it becomes less of electronic pen pals and more of a friendship. So that's been nice for me.
When I had the calendar open, I forgot to show you the communications thing. So I'm just going to do that. One of the things that makes the program powerful is that we charge the clients, that would be you, to talk to your coach every day. Initially, that's by text, but it generates into phone calls and Zoom meetings and things like that. So when you open up a workout once a day, we want you to open up the comment window, put in a note, and send it to your client. And if you do it every day, it will be magical, the relationship you develop. My coach is in Boulder, and if I'm lucky, I see her once a year. If I'm really lucky, I talk to her like once or twice a month, but I communicate with her by this app every single day. And it's remarkable that we have become such good friends and such a powerful team in my development as a cyclist. So the communication is really, really critical. So I want to go down. I'm just going to knock out some of these questions for you that I'm seeing in the chat. I'm in Canada. Is the program available there? Yes, it's structured online. We don't care where in the world you are. The coaches are all over the country. So yes, absolutely available wherever you happen to be. Somebody asked about the cost. What's it cost? It's a very simple answer to that. We are, I think, in all my years involved in fitness and athletics, I think Coach Me Strong is the most transparent, financially transparent fitness company I've ever seen. It's $49 to setup fee, and then it's $149 a month. And that's it. If you want a shirt or a hat, that's extra, but there's no hidden charges. There's no limit to how many times you can talk to your coach. There's nothing like that. So $49 setup fee, $149 a month. There's no contract or commitment other than we require a 30-day notice to cancellation. So that's that one. Approximately how much time per day for the exercises? That is very specifically depending on your scenario. If you're a beast like Marty is, you get 2 or 3 hours. There are other people who are tougher to move, can't quite get enough going, might get 20 minutes. It really depends on your life, your schedule, your capabilities, what we can do. And although we want to make it fun, we also want a little bit of pushing. So if you join the program and say, look, I can only do 20 minutes a day, it's our job to get you to 30, and in a way that you don't even notice. You just keep doing it. So Christina said this, we meet you where you are, and that's the most important thing. What training would the coaches get in terms of understanding specific exercises for people with Parkinson's? All of the coaches we have right now are, except for one, are highly experienced and trained in neurological disorders. So 2 of the coaches are physical therapists working decades with Parkinson's patients. we have an exercise physiologist who I think has done 20 years serving in the Parkinson's community and so on. And then we take in people without Parkinson's. We take in care partners. We take in people who just need a coach. And then for those people, they go to a coach who's less experienced with Parkinson's because they don't have Parkinson's. But if you come in with Parkinson's, you're going to get a coach who has a ton of experience working with Parkinson's and other neurological stuff. Someone says, great, the colors are a first nudge and then self-reinforcement. Yes, they are. I can't stand to see my calendar full of red and orange. My husband loves to walk, but now he cannot do it for more than 5 minutes due to severe back pain. Is that due to PD posture? You know, we refer people to movement disorder specialists for questions like that. I don't know if Christina wants to answer that, but I will say that we start you where you are. If you come into the program and you can only walk for 5 minutes, we're going to find a way to get you exercising without having to walk for more than 5 minutes. We have people doing chair exercises. We have people doing water, walking in water. We have all this other stuff. So I don't know if Christine, you want to address this, or should we just roll that out to ask this person to contact their doctor?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely, I think contact your doctor, and obviously we're not meant to like replace the care that you might get with your doctor or one-on-one with physical therapy. We're just here to reinforce all of those things in life. But I have seen plenty of people with back pain because of the posture issues, but it could be related to other things as well. So that's why I think it's important to either get in with a physician or maybe get a referral to a physical therapist to get one-on-one. But I've had people go to a physical therapist one-on-one and then transition to me after they get that one-on-one care. And I'm happy to talk to any PT that you might have, and so that we can collaborate and include exercises that are going to help and not hurt. But yeah, definitely still go to a physician if you're having significant back pain.
We should talk about that story a little bit too. That was a really interesting guy, called up and was either new to the area or new to physical therapy or something, but needed a physical therapist and had to go through it. So he called me. I referred him to Christina. Christina referred him to a physical therapist she knew and followed his progress through physical therapy. And when his physical therapy ended 6 weeks later, he transitioned into Coach Me Strong. And then Christina worked with his physical therapist to make sure they continued the whole program going along. We just had another person, excuse me, join the other day who was a patient of one of our other coaches who is a physical therapist. And as soon as his time went up, he came into the program and he has her as a coach. So that model works out really well for us. The other story I wanted to tell was the trike story, because I love the trike story. So we had a guy come in, and this was a guy who said, like out of the gate, I hate exercise. I have Parkinson's. I'm 71 years old. I hate exercise. He was a little overweight. He really, you could tell this was a guy who hated exercise.
Yeah, he had a lot of foot pain too, which is, you know, nobody likes to be in pain and exercise. So there was that as well, but generally also did not like exercising.
So, we talked to him and I was on the phone with him for, it seemed like days. It's like, what do you like to do? Can you ride a bike? Well, yeah, I kind of used to like to ride a bike, but now I think I'll fall over and my foot hurts and everything hurts. And I was like, well, what about a trike? So he was like, he kind of lit up. It's like, what do you mean? What about a trike? So to make a really long story really short, we started working with him and did the research to find a 3-wheeled bicycle, a trike, that could fit on an exercise standalone trainer in his garage. And this guy rose to it immediately. He went out, he found the bike, he bought it, he put it in his garage, he got the trainer, he hooked it up, and he started riding. And I went up there and I helped him get fit on it and get it all set up. And so he turned into a crazy cyclist. He was riding 45 minutes, 5 days a week in his garage or on his streets around his house and the whole thing. It worked out incredibly well. So I called up the company that made the trike, some company in Germany. I just sent them a blind email. I said, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I just want to tell you the story that we had this guy, we found your bike, we bought one for him. He's doing awesome and he just loved it. And I want to let you know that, you know, your company, your bike, your trike facilitated getting this guy off the couch and getting him better. And they called me back in like a day and said, you know, we have a new old stock trike in our warehouse in Chicago. And I can't sell it. If you want it, you can have it and use it for your clients to try and to borrow. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? So they sent us the bike. They sent us the trike. We put it together. We've been lending it to clients. People have been riding it to great success. It's been super cool that worked out. So this is the kind of story that I just love, because people just hear what we're doing and they just rise to it. It was a wonderful story, and it's in my garage. If anybody's in San Diego and wants to borrow the bike, give me a call.
I love this because it sounds like, from what you've said so far, that you can take the biggest couch potato who's never exercised all the way up from like the fittest person and develop something specific for them. But it's not just the videos that are in your coaching program that you show, but you develop, like, they could go to classes. Is that true? Do things individually? I'm sure this was very helpful during COVID when people were stuck at home, and quite honestly, it's really hard to push yourself unless you have that accountability. So can you speak a little bit about, you know, the variety of different types of exercises, like how they get them? Are they on their own? Can they go to a class? Is it something that you give them, like break down as to what they're going to be doing?
Yeah, Marty, you want to talk to that? Because the answer is kind of yes to all of it.
Yeah. So I, like I said before, COVID hit, I was going to a wellness center, and I don't think that it's going to reopen, but that's okay, because I really like being able to exercise on my terms at the times I want to do it, when it's convenient for me. So I'll continue with this beyond the end of the pandemic restrictions. And we incorporated all the different types of things into my program. I do one class that's online. I do yoga, that I follow a yoga instructor that offers free videos. I have different types of things I do with videos from the program that are developed by my coach for strengthening and that type of thing. Some things are like walking at the beach, or taking a hike, or riding the tandem that my husband and I have, the tandem bike that my husband and I have. So it's all yes to all of the questions that you asked. And we just incorporate whatever works for each person, and what works for me won't work for someone else. Not everyone likes to do all the things that I do, but we try to individualize it, make it something that you'll do, because if you're not going to enjoy it, you won't do the exercise and you won't get any benefit from the program.
And now we're starting to add some community stuff into it. So
Yeah.
Every Friday, I lead a virtual bike ride on Zoom where everybody gets on their exercise bikes, and it's basically a spin class. And that's been really fun. We're getting some traction on that. Marty, you don't even know this yet, but I talked to somebody yesterday who loves ping pong and lives up by you. So I know you've been playing a lot of ping pong. I think we're going to get that going.
Good.
Christina's talked about, I know Roger just gave me a big thumbs up for ping pong. Christina, you've talked about getting your hikes going again. I'm trying to get Dana to start some boot camps. So we're starting to bring the community into the program now that we've got everything kind of dialed and settled in. We're looking very carefully at making sure that the caregivers, the care partners are taken care of. So making the program available to a couple is a really good thing. One of the things we found as a side effect that we didn't know was going to happen is that if you have Parkinson's and you have a care partner who's nagging you to exercise, we know that creates stress. One of the things of moving accountability for exercising from your care partner to the coach is that we'll take on that nagging role. I've been calling us the anti-nagging company. So that has in several of our clients where there was a lot of friction from the care partner to the person with Parkinson's to gotta exercise. And it's like, no, I don't want to. When we take that on, we open that space in the relationship for other stuff, for friendlier stuff than nagging. So that's been a really interesting side effect to the whole thing. The other surprise side effect is the use of the software. And again, we came into this program. This is a piece of software that I've used for years as a cyclist. It's designed for endurance athletes and their coaches. And we've kind of taken the parts that we need, the calendar and the communications, and left the rest behind. But I thought it was going to be a little bit of a challenge and a liability to have people having to use the app or their computer every day to log on, get their exercises, and leave the notes for their coach. Turned out it's a huge benefit for some people who are just using Parkinson's as an excuse not to be involved in daily technology. So for the people who have some reticence to use the app, we've spent a lot of time, personal time, individual time with them. I do mostly, and get them across the gap. So it's super easy to use. They just open up their phone, push one button, there are their exercises. And that's become a benefit, not a liability. So that's a really cool thing. Let's see, a couple more questions came in here. What's the brand and model of the trike? It's a company called Velotechnik. And if you are in San Diego, you're welcome to borrow it, or you can get to San Diego. And if not, you can just shoot me an email and I'll give you the contact information for it. There's a dealer in Los Angeles that we know of, that we work with, and there are dealers around the country.
I think there's one more question at the top.
Okay, here's one. If the client cannot walk, would there be a program for them? Christine, you want to answer that one?
Sure. Yeah. Well, first off, 100%. Yeah. If you can't walk and you know, it doesn't look like that's the future for you, then 100%. There are plenty of things to do in sitting, especially for Parkinson's. You know, you think about being either in a wheelchair. I don't know this person's situation. I'm assuming either a wheelchair of some sort, but you can still do physical things to take care of yourself, to relieve the burden of care on your caregiver. Things like, dexterity exercises, upper body exercises. I think if you're working your arms and upper body, you output 60 to 80% more cardiac output. So you can still get a really good aerobic exercise routine with your upper body. So definitely 100% you can still do this program having not been able to walk. I also saw one question at the top that says by Nick, sorry, I'm sitting outside, but what is neurostamina and how is it measured? I'm assuming maybe I'll answer that, but I just wanted clarification on what he meant by neurostamina. If you want to type that in, Nick, or speak.
I think I mentioned that, Christina, that my stamina had improved, not specifically neuro, but that from the program, since I started it, my stamina has improved, and that has helped me with my Parkinson's.
Got it. Yeah. First of all, that's great. And then second of all, we do, I personally do very short assessments with people every couple of months, sort of as needed at this point, because I found monthly is a little too much for both parties to collaborate and coordinate on, but sort of these as needed tests just to measure how people are doing. And it's been really fun to see people improve. I had a guy, it's just a simple, it's called a 30-second sit to stand test. You guys might have done it before. It's very easy. Get up and down from a chair as many times as you can in 30 seconds. And I think somebody was doing it maybe 9 times when he first started, and now he can do 18 times. I just found that out the other day, which is a lot and just demonstrates great balance, strength, and coordination. So we check up on how you're doing and measure progress in small but significant ways.
And that will be in your daily notes to your coach also, how you're doing, you know. And one of our coaches, Danica, sent me a text just she was just on fire that one of her clients was able to get off the floor by himself for the first time since the program started. So those are the kind of things that, if you get up easily, you don't even think about it, but if you can't get yourself up after a fall, and now you can, that's a huge win. So that was a really cool thing.
I wanted to mention that Marty's been on an extended trip and she's still able to do this while traveling. Can you speak on that? Because I think this is the time of year a lot of people start traveling, especially now that things are opening up again. People are starting to tiptoe out a little bit. So can you talk about how you were able to continue to implement this in your traveling?
Sure. Well, the program is web-based, so anybody can do it anywhere, and even in a travel van as you're going down the interstate. So you just go onto your phone and you click on the exercise that you want to do. One of the things that I do is I do this little cycling thing with a desk peddler. So that's one of the things I've done on the trip. I talked to Danica, my coach, before I left, and she knew what I like to do and what kinds of things I would be able to do while we were traveling. And I actually gave her my itinerary so that she knew which days were travel days, which days were sightseeing days, which days were visiting family days. And she incorporated exercises that would work for me. And we decided together that I would do a 30-day yoga series because that's something I could do every morning. And it was like clockwork. I get up, I do the yoga, and that was one of my tasks for the day. So it's really been helpful to me because before, when we would travel, I would just be at a loss. What am I going to do? And how am I going to keep my fitness level to what it had become? And this has been a great way to do it. Like I said, it's all web-based. As long as you have a cell phone with web connection, you can get on and see what your program is for that week or that day.
So we have one of our clients interloping on the call. So Tamara, you want to pop in this and just sort of share your experience? You've been in the program, I don't know, 6-7 months now.
I think ever since you started.
Yeah, one of the early ones.
It's been really great for me because particularly with people who don't have a caretaker at home, when you are your own caretaker, you need this to nag you. That's the number one thing. And it's totally customized. And just having everything already put on the calendar for me has just really made the huge difference, because I can overthink everything to death and not get anything done. I had a couple false starts, with seeing a physical therapist person and just didn't follow through. But I'm competitive by nature. I can compete with myself. So it's been working great for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. Who puts the yoga program together? Is it customized? One of our coaches is a lifelong yoga instructor, so she's done a lot of it. And then some of the coaches are finding other programs. We're using some of the video programs that are being offered are either in the public domain, free to use, or we've got permission to use them. So all of that's clean. So it varies client to client and the kind of yoga and all of that. We're getting a little bit toward the end. So I did want to say, if anybody wants to learn more about this, the best way is just to call me or Marty. So shoot us a note through the website or jeff@coachmestrong.com, and we'll set up a call. There's also on the website, there's a box right in the front that says set up a private meeting. And I'll show you where that is. So when you go to the website, I don't want to turn this into a selling thing, but I want to make sure everybody can see it. So when you go to coachmestrong.com, right here in the top, would you like a private meeting with us to see if Coach Me Strong is a good fit for you? Click here. Just click on that, and it opens up this very simple form: name, email, when are you available, what's your phone number, and we'll call you back. So this is a really good way to get a hold of us. You can also hit the contact form that goes to it. You can call us on the phone. There's a phone number, rings through to my cell. I'm happy to talk to anybody about this. And we'll just look and explore. Coach Me Strong is not right for everybody, but it's been right for most of the people who have started in the program. So it's a personalized individual program, right? So we can make almost anything work, but we also want to make it work for you in a partnership with your coach. So that part's important. Kathy asked if it's covered by insurance. Currently, no. Currently, it's self-pay, $149 a month, 2-month or 30-day cancellation, no contracts. We are slowly building up the metal to go after Medicare, and we will be doing that at some point. We've been collecting data and stuff like that, so we'll slowly get that in progress. But for now, no, it's not. Any other questions? Thank you for clapping, Elizabeth. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I also saw the question of why shouldn't you be reimbursed? I think somebody asked. Yeah, kind of like Jeff said, in terms of insurance, nothing changes unless Medicare changes.
Yeah.
And Medicare is a large moving ship that it's hard to move with one small person's arms of force, so it's something that PTs as a whole in our profession have been pushing for a long time, is covering these wellness services, and it just isn't. So it's unfortunate, but we would like that too.
Yeah, and we will continue to pursue it, but it's we're pushing an elephant uphill there. Somebody asked if the entries can be added to my Google Calendar. I don't actually know the answer to that, because we generally stay within the app, because it's got the communications system. But what you do is, what you do get every day in the afternoon is an email with your workouts for the next day. And I often use that in lieu of the calendar. So I get up in the morning and I just look at yesterday's email, and I go to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's my workouts for the day. Don't even have to go to the calendar. But because some of them have videos and all this other stuff, it's important that you're in the calendar. Tamara just texted. She's got it set up with an iCal and Apple Calendar. So the answer to that is probably yes to both. Any other questions? Anybody? Comments, thoughts? Anybody doing anything similar? How are you all structuring your exercise now? I want to know that too.
I'm so sorry. I have to hop off because I'm still at the clinic, but it was so nice to see a ton of square faces on my computer screen. But yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me and Jeff and Marty, and feel free to reach out to us if you guys have any questions.
Awesome.
Hi,
Christina, thanks so much for taking the time out. Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Bye, guys.
And feel free, if anyone has any questions in their last couple of minutes, you can unmute yourself if you prefer to do that over chatting.
Somebody
I love the idea of trying to convince Medicare to eventually pay for something like this, because it would actually reduce their costs in the long term.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Yep.
There is a question here. Is there any kind of discount for those financially challenged? One of the things we've been working on and have not completed successfully yet is building a, what did we call it? Like a copay program from a sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of the next thing for us, is to start to build like a little war chest that we can use for people who need a little financial help on it. So if you're interested in the program, you're financially challenged, please call us, and we'll help you figure something out. So and if you know anybody who would like to be a sponsor on Coach Me Strong and help out people, it would be, there's no administrative cost on it. So if somebody wants to put money into it to help out people who are financially challenged, I would love to talk to them about that.
Y'all are very, very clear. This sounds wonderful.
It's an awesome program.
It
Yeah.
sounds, the tough part for me is I'm much older and I have financial, I don't have, I'm retired now. So it's going to be hard for me to pay, but I'll think of something.
Yeah, call me anyway and we'll figure something out. And, you know, old's a state of mind. We don't care how old you are, or how young you are.
I'm 84.
It's the new 40. Have you thought about becoming a nonprofit to accept donations? Yes, we thought about it. And I don't know, Marty, how you feel about it, but it made my head explode to kind of go down that road. Some Medicare Advantage programs will pay for gym memberships. That's something that has been really interesting to us, that if we can, and maybe it's something we can look into, if we can get ourselves classed as a virtual gym, we might be able to go down that road. So let me think about that.
Some, like the silver sneakers that Medicare
Exactly.
does, something along that line.
Yeah. I mean, I just started getting old enough to get Medicare, and apparently you can get a gym membership, right? Do you have to be in Part B to get a gym membership? Or can just Part A do it? Anybody know? I don't have any idea. Yeah, like silver sneakers and all that.
Dave has a question, has his hand up.
Dave
Orlow.
Yeah, for those recording about financial help, another organization that's specifically there to help Parkinson's people with financial needs is the Parkinson Wellness Fund. And you should look into that. That's based in California, but they help people nationwide. And it's exactly for situations like this. They help with, if you need a wheelchair or a cane, or you need gym membership to rock steady, or they probably cover this too. So you look into ParkinsonWellnessFund.org.
Okay,
Thanks,
great.
Dave.
We'll check on that today. Somebody says you need Part B to get the free gym membership, only certain gyms. Yeah, I know that's true. Roger says I'm only 31 the second time. So there you go. 62 is the new 31. And we'll check out the Parkinson's Wellness Fund today.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome.
You're
Give us a
very
call. Please feel free to use the contact information or call us on the phone, and you know, we'll all be happy to talk to you and see if it's a good fit. You know, our goal is to help people. Really, it
I have
stops
your
there.
phone number again. You had it up there, but I couldn't get it fast enough.
Yeah, it is 619 736 2511.
Thank you.
619 736 2511.
Thank you.
And that rings through to my cell, so you'll get me.
This has been fantastic. I appreciate Jeff and Marty joining us, sharing about this wonderful resource, and for Christina also, who had to hop off already. And I love that Tamara was also able to give some insight into that. It's great to hear from people who have actually been using it, as well as Marty. So thank you for spending the hour with us and sharing this information. I'm so glad that everyone joined. And hopefully you can utilize this very beneficial resource. And if you've not exercised, I'm sure they will get you up and moving
that
quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And certainly we just want to thank, you know, Anissa and Kelly and Sarah Jones for making this available to us to share the program with you. It's been really fun. And if you're interested, Tamara just put this in the chat. If you're interested in the Friday bike ride, it's free. We ask you to sign a waiver, but it's just free. Come on, have some fun. You know, it's like a spin class with people with Parkinson's. It's awesome.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I love that. And if anyone wants to share this, if somebody might benefit from learning about this, this will be up on our website. You can view the recording of this within the next day or so. So thank you everyone for joining us. If we could give the wave of gratitude to Marty and Jeff and thank them so much for such great information. Thank you guys. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. Take care.
Right. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.